welcome back to 2A Wolf. So, some of you guys are pretty funny. Yes, I was not having a good time with being attacked by the wires last time. No, I didn't break anything. Yes, it really felt like I wanted to. So, anyways, and yes, sorry if I keep repeating certain things. Oh, hey, did I tell you that I got this attachment? I mentioned it like 3 times, sorry. And I got it from Harbor Freight. Yeah, because you're only going to use it, I don't know, 20 times or whatever. But anyways, the times I used it, it did work out pretty good. I got it at Harbor Freight. And then one of the comments was I should probably put some kind of catch pan around the water tank just in case there's a leak. I don't know. I'm going to think about that. So I went ahead and so I'll put that off. So what do you guys think? Oh, I got some questions for you guys. I'm thinking about putting a 18,000-pound winch on the front of the truck. What do you think? I did want to get one of the big cattle guards, brush guards for the front of the truck. I want to do that too, I think. So if you guys got a comment on either way, yeah. Anyways, so leave a comment. Put a winch on the front and or brush guard. Did finish getting all the puck lights and everything's working. So yeah, got all the lights. So pretty happy about that. Got the other lights up on top, but so I got that all done. Been having an issue trying to get something to stick to the cabinets. I've tried a lot of different kinds of tape and they're not sticking. And I had some those nail-in clamps. I don't know if you can see it. And I did put some of those in. It's really difficult to get those in, but they're definitely holding this dang wire down. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it back in there. If they had little bitty screws, I could probably do it. So I gotta go to the store anyways and pick up some stuff, and I'm gonna pick up a cabinet for the refrigerator. So I want to get the refrigerator done this round, and I want to get the inverter installed. I don't know. Can you install the inverter inverted? You know, hanging from top, or can you put? I think you can. Put it on the side. I think. Either that, I just put it on the bottom. I was almost thinking about putting it on the side somewhere. I don't know. Maybe just on the bottom. And it has that little bitty do-nothing shelf there in the back. Nothing I can do with that, I guess. But anyways, I want to get that installed, and I want to get the refrigerator installed. One thing I've been wanting to do is hook up this battery cutoff, and the only thing I can think of is just to put it like right here. I don't like it to have it on the inside of the bed because you gotta lift up the bed and get to it and stuff. This way it's just right here. Just go click. Maybe a tad lower, so that way maybe the blankets won't get snagged up on it or whatever. But as long as I know where it is, I'm gonna put it about halfway right there. On, off. Okay, there it is. So that way I can get this going, because power will come here, go from there to the inverter, and then go to the fuse box. So when I flip this, everything's dead. Okay, to bring you up to speed, so I went ahead and bought another cabinet. I think I already mentioned how I was going to do that. They had an 18-inch base cabinet, and the slider for the fridge just barely fits. So this is really good, but I have to raise this up 11.5 inches because I want the top of the refrigerator to be right under here, because right here will be the countertop. So that top of that refrigerator slide out. Yeah, okay, and I decided I'm just going to use the door as the shelf to anchor this on. So I'll have to put some stickers on the sides and then screw in from the sides to hold the stickers, maybe even from the back too. And then this plate will be anchored to that. So what I ended up doing, which was kind of sort of the plan, is I wanted to put this in a cabinet and then just barely be underneath the countertop, which it looks like maybe a 1/4 inch back there, about a 1/4 of an inch or less back here. And yeah, so not too bad. Anyways, what I ended up doing is I knew I wasn't going to use the door because the slide out tray and the refrigerator is longer than what the cabinets are. So I knew a door was not going to go on there no matter what I did. And I did take the handle off the back, and there's no sense taking the one off the front. I was thinking about taking the one off the front because then you could probably just use, well, you can just use the slider to open it, I guess. But for right now, so that'll be that way. And then I can still put the straps on it to hold it down. And then I got a cubby hole down there for like extra shoes or something. I don't know. Got the fridge in, and it just barely fits in this cabinet. But it's kind of nice. Got the cord. The cord runs, I went back and forth a few times and it's just staying right in the rail. And it comes open enough. So, and it's got about maybe a 1/4 inch to spare as far as getting back in there. That's as far as in as it'll go. I'll see about taking this handle off. But then it means you gotta try to negotiate this little handle. I'll leave it like that to make it easier. It's alive! You know, one of the viewers had said that, you know, you're always showing the stuff that worked out really good. Well, what about the stuff that doesn't work out good? Do you do like a blooper reel or something? No, I don't do a blooper reel, but so I put the brackets down on the battery and that U-bolt was giving me problems, and then it bent. Not really sure why, but I'm going to try to take it out because something's not right. And I don't like, not really liking the way it feels. So, do you guys remember those sockets you see on TV where the guy uses it for everything? Kind of looks like that. So I put that on thinking I could just reel it down, and it started to work, but then it got really weird, and then it looks like the U-bolt bent. If I go, uh-oh. Oh, it freaking broke. There you go. He said you wanted to see how stuff doesn't always work. Okay, plan B. right, that's serious. Okay. Okay, got the strap, got the anchors, got the strap. I tried to move it. They're pretty solid, unless I like, you know, flip the vehicle or roll over or something. Okay, where was that before I was crudely interrupted? I have plenty of room for stuff. Anyways, there's the controller, obviously the fuse block, shunt or fuse. So I have power coming from the battery to the battery switch, out to the inverter, and then plus the power going to the block, negative going back to the battery, and then I have solar panels, but I got to get all the satellite dishes and stuff off the top first. I'll bring those wires in, so that'll be fairly easy. And when I shut that off, kills everything. So I wanted to install a voltmeter, and I had this night light thing left over, which has a 12 volt cigarette lighter plug and USBs and some switches. So I'm just going to go ahead and use it. I'll put it right here. Check to make sure this isn't redundant. Okay, so I hooked that up. It tells me what the volt is going to the truck. Hooked up the USB. And battery off. Kills everything to the truck. Well, I ran into a little bit of a problem. So on the top left is the voltage coming into the power inverter. And I went ahead and plugged in this 1000-watt heater, and the voltage dropped really fast on the battery input. But when it dropped it down to 10, the little alarm light thing came on, and then the heater shut off. And then the voltage came right back up. Okay, we'll watch it together. So I brought it in and I got it hooked directly up to the switch, and then there's a short one that goes to the battery. Got this negative going right to the battery. It shows that the battery is 12.9. And we'll try to turn this heater on. We'll turn the fan on. Well, turn low heat, 64 watts. The volt dropped down to 12.1, 11.6, 11.5, 936 watts, 11.4, medium. Should say 1000 watts. 1000 watts. Drop down to 11.3, 11.2, 1200 watts, 1100 watts. So is that just because that other cable, it can't keep up? 11.2 at 1100 watts. Okay, let's turn this baby up. No, it says drop the battery voltage down to 10, 1800 watts. Doesn't like 1800 watts. Okay, let's drop it back down. Okay, that was a waste of a couple hours, but I went ahead and decided to go back to the original plan. And since, okay, so I did look up on YouTube, and it looks like those big ones, inverters have to be mounted like right next to the battery. And 200 amp hours is just enough to run that big one. So what I'll probably end up doing is I'll get a third battery, and that will be mounted next to the batteries. I don't like that being underneath the bed, but that's the plan for now. So the other thing that we needed to do was to get 110 power in here. So I went back to the original 1200 watt, 2400 watt surge, 1200 watt continuous. So we decided to go, I decided to go back to this one. Now I can plug the TV and the DVD player in. And anyways, went back to the old way. I just got through supplying power to the diesel heater. It's pretty quiet, you can hear it ticking. And got pretty good hot heat there. Pretty good heat there. And I hear more of the air moving than I do anything else. And yep, it's definitely hot there. Wow, I do want to run power to that water pump. That's what I want to do. Still trying to figure what to do. I know it looks like a mess, but we want the switch to be on this side, which makes sense. I mean, the perfect choice would be just to have the water pump switch right here, which means I'm not a big fan of drilling a hole in this, but it would be nice if the switch was right underneath the countertop edge. Just go click and it turns the pump on. So power comes to the switch, click it, accessory power goes all the way down and back to the pump. I don't think it'll draw too much. And the switch handles at least 15 amp or 10 amp, and that says it only runs 7.5. Okay, it says 37.7 degrees. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, and I just started the diesel heater. I just got the remote stuck up over there, and we'll see what happens. Okay, it's been 50 minutes, and it's up to 52, so probably another 10 minutes would be like 55. So it raised it 20 degrees in an hour. I don't think you'd probably let it get that low anyways, but it's been running really good. So yeah. Oh, let's go ahead and, so connecting, hold, off. I'm gonna set the stage a little bit. So I'm gonna hang this puck light here, and I gotta run the wires through the wall. And this is driving me insane. So this is driving me insane. All right, pull the wire out. Okay, this is a file. Goes all the way through. The wire's straight. I've been messing with this for 10 or 15 minutes. For some reason, right there, that far in, these wires will not go past. I can't comprehend I got one wire to go through earlier, but even one wire is hitting something. So it's not always easy, apparently. There is plenty effing room for the wire to get through. Exact same spot. And when I shove it, it goes up into the like insulation or something, because I'm going through the partition wall, and for some reason, haha, okay, so there's the red. Can I get the black to follow the red? Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. And now I was getting ready to check why this light wasn't working, and I just remembered that black, when you buy these lights, black is positive and white is negative. I hooked it up wrong. I couldn't figure out why the light wasn't working. That's because somebody in the Middle East decided that and the light just came on. So somebody in the Middle East decided that white needs to be ground. Well, got the big boss's approval. She likes it. She picked out the backsplash. So that's going to go up to about here. So the bottom of the cabinet's going to go all the way across, and then it'll come all the way this way too. Yeah, not too bad. Get the trim pieces done on the ends, and it's looking pretty good. So, and then the big boy stuff comes up. Hey, before I forget, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'm getting more and more subscribers, and had a couple of people ask me about some of the places that we've been to in the conservation areas. So if you don't know, that's what our expedition was with our overland Dodge Ram truck. Is we went around to conservation areas and kind of gave them like a review, and then give them a score of how it looked and the presentation, the security, amenities. You know, is there enough room to park a trailer or have tents or something like that? But anyways, yeah, the big boy stuff's coming up. I got to go ahead and finish doing the install for the water tank. I got to cut the countertops. I think I'll probably do that first, try to get this wrapped up. Cut the countertops, put the sink in. Once that's done, do the backsplash, I guess. Maybe I'll just keep going on the kitchen and try to get that stuff done. And then I got to cut a hole in the side of the truck and put a big window in over here. It's not a huge window. It's like a foot tall, but 3 feet wide. So, and then we're talking about maybe putting a window in here. I still have one left over, so I don't know. It may end up kind of low because of where some of the stuff is, because that tie down tack strip or whatever you call that strip thing is behind there, and we'd have to stay below that. Matter of fact, oh, you can still see it. So the window would have to stay below that because I'm not cutting all that out. So the window would have to be down here. So right above the tile. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So that's it for today. Make sure you hit the like button. Share the video with your friends. Talk about it. If you're just following along, you can, you guys always can put comments down below. I love your feedback and your comments. I know Perry comments all the time, so that's kind of nice. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, you can leave them down below. You can follow me on Facebook at 2A Wolf. If you want to send me an email, you can. It's 2awolftruck@gmail.com. And that's about it. So I'll see you next time on 2A Wolf.